What's going on, guys? Today we've got the 1 week review of the realme C11. Now, I've been using this for the last week on and off, and basically it's been a pretty good phone. I'd say for the price of it, it's pretty incredible, being under that £100 mark. We don't have official pricing yet. We do have the RRP, which is £99, so that's under £100. It will be listed on eFones.com very soon, and you can also grab it on Amazon. So when the C11 is fully released, we will put those links in the description for you so you can purchase it if you wish. Overall, yeah, it's been a pretty good phone. I think under that £100 mark, you're going to struggle to find a phone that's as good as the realme C11. Obviously, you've got competitors such as the Honor 9A or the Huawei Y6P in a similar price range, but in my opinion, the addition of having those Google services sort of counteracts any further gains you get on a HMS device, such as the 9A has that 3GB RAM, whereas it's only got 2GB RAM. But as I said, the access to Google services and the ease of use of a realme UI wins me over in that case. Enough about that, let's open this up. This isn't an unboxing. If you want to see the unboxing, that'll be linked in the description below, and I'll put it up here where you can click on that and watch the unboxing of the C11. So we're going to jump straight into some of the specs, some of the pros and cons, and my overall opinion. So as I said, we've already done the unboxings, and I've also been using this. I just chucked it back inside the box because one of the first pros I would say is the C11 packaging in general. As I always say, I really like the yellow boxes and the realme branding, so that's definitely a pro for me in my personal opinion. On the outside of this phone, I think design wise, it's an incredible design, especially for the price. You don't really get a phone this good looking, especially for under £100. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of these budget phones design wise, but I guess they have to cut corners. But this pepper grey realme C11, looks great, and it has quite a textured back, so you won't be slipping out your hands very easily, and I quite like this. I like the design, I like the realme branding, and I like the camera setup. Talking about the camera, you've got a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel selfie camera, so not the best camera, but it's obviously not a flagship phone. You're going to get good pictures, you're going to get okay pictures. It just basically depends on the cameraman themselves. So I'll show you a few of these pictures now. As I said, not a photographer, but here's one with a rear camera, and here's a selfie, so there you go. I'll put a few more now. As I said in the beginning of the video, the RAM isn't going to blow you away, but it is good for everyday use, especially for one of these budget phones. You've got 2GB RAM with 32GB already pre-installed storage, and that is expandable with that SD card slot. Talking about the card slot, you do also have dual SIM, and this is a nano SIM, so future-proof, so you can always switch between your SIM cards if you want to. You've got a 6.5 LCD display on this, so not the brightest, but again, a very good high-performing screen and display for a phone of this price. You can't really get much better than an LCD display on a phone costing less than £100. The processor packed inside this is the MediaTek Helio G35 octa-core processor, so you're going to get a good processor out of this. Obviously, you're not looking at a flagship phone, so you're not going to be able to hit all those massive specs and those incredible refresh rates, but for your everyday use in games, casual gaming, this will do the job. Now, one of the disappointing factors in this phone, and you do see this with a lot of sub £100 phones, is the fact that it has the micro USB charging point. Now, I would have liked to have seen a USB Type-C, but unfortunately it is a micro USB, which I guess isn't too bad. However, the 10-watt charging is a little bit slow for my liking, but that being said, it is a budget phone. One of the positives though on this rear of the phone is that headphone jack. Now, I know a lot of people like the headphone jack, and this does come with that pre-installed headphone jack there, so you don't have to worry about that, and a loudspeaker also on this side. As I said, the camera is pretty good for the price range. You can shoot in 30 FPS 1080p for your videos, and that also will play back in those 30 frames. Now, this is the pepper grey colorway. You can also get mint green, and both colorways in my opinion look absolutely stunning, and I really like the design on the outside of the phone. It's very standoutish, and I like the realme branding. What I will go ahead and show you now, I've wrapped up a few of the key specs, is a little bit of the gaming. So this is the gaming stage of the phone. Up here, you'll notice that we've got this app here called Game Space, and what you can do within this app is it will store your apps that you choose to go in here, so you can add any apps you want. So say I wanted to add this, I literally click that tick there and add that in, and it's that simple, and it will add to your sort of game space. And what you can also do inside here is hide your games from your main screen, so then they'll literally just sit inside your game space. Now that's good if you want to like sort of clear up any of your home screens and have them in a space by themselves, so that's capable there. And what you can also do down here in this little little bar, is you can customize what you want to do. So you can put this into competition mode, where it'll sort of be a more focused gaming device, balance mode, or low power mode. Now obviously, as this is going to be a bit of a gaming test here, we're going to chuck this into competition mode, and what you can see it does here is check your signal strength, blocks messages, but you can, choose certain things. You can choose to reject calls, block calls and banners, and allow calls and notifications there as well. It will also brightness lock the brightness to what it is already, so it won't automatically fade or get brighter depending on the scenario. It will be locked at what it is, and obviously you can see the battery there, which is 5.4 hours. If you put this into low power mode, you can see it goes up to 6.6. Balance mode, it goes to 6 hours, and competition mode, it drops down to 5.4, obviously because it's way more demanding. So what we're going to do now is jump into this game here called Car X Drift Racing 2. Now I have played the tutorial, but I haven't played the game very much. I'm only playing this game based off the fact that this was the top rated game on the C11 on the Play Store. So, clearly a lot of people with the C11 want to play this game. So what you do here, we'll click into it and we'll play it. I won't do too much voicing over for this playing bit, as there's not too much you can say. It's a drifting racing game. As you can see, I'm not too good at this game, but what you will notice is the graphics are pretty good. Obviously, they're not flagship level. Obviously, you're not running a flagship phone here, so they're not going to be absolutely perfect, but it runs it fairly smoothly, I would say, with little to no noticeable FPS drop. And the refresh rate, seems pretty good on this phone, especially for the price. So far, I'm pretty impressed with its capability, especially it says it only has that 2 gig of RAM. So it must be pretty high performing RAM in order to keep up with this sort of demand for a game like this. I think it's time to step it up a notch a little bit, and what we're going to do is navigate over to a little bit more of a demanding game. We're going to go over to the Call of Duty here. Now obviously I have turned this into the competition mode, so it should be alright. But yeah, this is a little bit more demanding and a little bit more extreme. Obviously we haven't got PUBG installed on this yet. If you want to see a PUBG test on this, we'll be more than happy to do that. It just takes a lot of setting up, whereas Call of Duty you jump sort of straight into it. So yeah, and I believe Call of Duty is just as demanding as PUBG, just not as long. And personally I do prefer playing this Call of Duty mobile over the PUBG mobile experience. But if that's something you want to see, just let us know and we'll be happy to do that. You'll see here that loading times, are fairly quick, fairly standard for a phone. Phones such as the X50 Pro do load them a little bit faster, but I mean, what can you expect? The price difference is ginormous between these two. This phone being almost 5 times less expensive than that device. Again, I'm not very good at these games, so don't be prepared to see some sort of pro at this. I'll give it my best shot. But yeah, what I would note is it runs fairly smoothly, and as I said, the graphics aren't the most amazing graphics I've seen on a mobile. However, for that budget phone, it seems to run the majority of games pretty well. I know, again, I say I'm not the greatest at this game. On the whole, it runs pretty well, pretty smoothly. I feel like I do have a bit of a competitive edge above a lot of people on here. Although I imagine the majority of these people on here are maybe bots. Because if you're worse than me, then you really clearly don't take your gaming very seriously. So yeah, overall, the gaming has been pretty good on this phone. I've been pretty impressed, especially for that 2 gig RAM. It's fairly high performing in my opinion. Leading on from that, what we will also do now is an AnTuTu Benchmark test. A lot of people ask for this, and it's one of the key features of realme. They do always brag about their AnTuTu scores, so we'll show you an AnTuTu test benchmark on this phone now. I don't know if you guys have seen, but in the news, the AnTuTu Benchmark has kind of been removed from the Play Store. So this is sort of the replacement for that. You do have to download it off their website. But yeah, all you do is you click test here and you let it run. So I'm going to leave this here now and I'll be back with you in a minute. So here we have the AnTuTu score. You got 106,344 here, so defeated 3% of users. 45,000 CPU, 13,000 GPU, 26,000 memory, and 20,000 UX. So this is all the information here. I'll scroll through it for you. Take with that what you will. Pause it here if you want to see a bit more in-depth info. I'll open up these for you. So yeah, that's about it. That's the AnTuTu test for you. And that's about it for this realme C11. It's been a very good phone for the week that I've had it. I've not seen any flaws really, other than, in my opinion, that micro USB port. However, that's not necessarily a fault. The price, under £100, what can you really expect? It's an incredible phone for the price. And I seem to say this with every realme phone I get. Price blows me away for the specs that are packed inside it. And I almost forgot, the most impressive feature about this C11 is that 5,000 milliamp hour battery packed inside such a thin, lightweight phone. That's incredible that you can get a 5,000 milliamp hour battery inside a phone like this. Is absolutely amazing, especially for that sub £100 mark. Overall, this is a great sub 100 phone. I'm really impressed with what Realme are capable of doing. You know, you've got a great battery, good camera, good processor, an okay amount of RAM, good speaker, headphone jack. What more can you really want? And it's all for under £100. I can't stress this enough. This phone has really blown me away for the price. I've been testing a lot of sub £100 phones and not one of them has even really come close. I know that some of these sub £100 phones have more RAM. However, I believe this RAM is basically higher performing, and as I said in the start of the video, you easily have access to all your Google everyday apps, and that is something that really is a big deal for me personally. It's an ease of use combined with that Realme UI, which always looks beautiful. I'm very impressed with this Realme C11. So guys, tell me what you think. I'm really impressed with this phone. What do you think about the Realme C11? I know you're excited to see it come to the UK market. Will you maybe be getting your hands on one? I'd like to see your opinions in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching our video. If you want to see more like this, make sure to consider hitting that subscribe button. If you have any questions at all, please let us know in the comments. We will reply to you. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.